13 catches for Amari Cooper for 139 yards. CeeDee Lamb, 7 for 104. Cooper had 2 touchdowns. Lamb had 1. What a combination those two are. And we already believe that Cooper's contract likely will mean that after this year they'll move on. But if he plays like this, it's going to be hard to move on. You want to take full advantage of having these two guys together with Dak Prescott. Are you kidding me? And there had been that not so quiet buzz and hope and hype that Lamb was going to go next level this year. He went next level last night. He, at times, is unstoppable. He's just so skinny. He's like Randy Moss rookie year skinny. But when you can move like that, you don't have to worry about somebody blasting you. And I have a feeling we're going to see a lot of that all year long.
I think so. And, after seeing last night and just how invested they are into the pass game, it makes me change my thought about the Amari Cooper situation. You know why? They don't have to pay CeeDee Lamb for another year or two after this, right? So they can prolong that. And right now they look like they're just going, no, our bread and butter is our pass game, like the Kansas City Chiefs. They're going to go, wait, we're going to have an elite pass game and stress teams out with that and make them have to adjust off our elite group there. And that makes sense to me. There's no question about it. And they're dangerous. Now, Mike, there's the other thing I'll say about the game that jumped out to me. You heard me talk about last night or yesterday, right, about the Bucs. Don't blitz so much. Don't leave these guys one-on-one. That, to me, was maybe the shocker of the game when the X's and O's. I just couldn't believe how many times Todd Bowles blitzed Dak Prescott early on in the game and left, Demps and some of those guys. Am I saying his name right? Demps, 35. That's the guy I'm trying to think of. Yeah, Jamel Dean, excuse me. Jamel Dean, one-on-one on an island. There's too many good receivers on this football team to play one-on-one. I just was shocked that was the approach by Tampa Bay, and I think that's something they got to watch out for. It's one of their negative things is when Bowles gets too over-aggressive, their secondary's good, but as Chris Collinsworth mentioned last night, it's not like, oh, wow, it's definitely one of the 3 or 5 best secondaries in football. And that, to me, I just did not understand. And finally, later in the game, they started to dial it back a little bit. Because even when they were blitzing, they weren't getting there. They weren't getting sacks. Yeah, they hit him a few times, but he was still getting to throw the ball where he wanted to. And I just didn't understand that aspect of Tampa's defensive game plan.
Just rely on that front four. You're not going to have a dominant game like you did against the Chiefs in the Super Bowl every week, but rely on the front four. Play the old Tampa 2. Use the front four and the back 7 to otherwise take care of making sure that, number 1, guys aren't wide open. Number 2, when they are, and after they've caught the ball, you swarm to them and tackle them. That may be something that the Buccaneers will be doing more of in the future. And,
I think so.
I always say week 1, first opponent, you kind of have to throw it out mentally because you never know how good or bad the team is that you beat. You never know how good or bad the team is that beat you. Tonight was an exception, or last night was an exception to that. It still feels like tonight. It still feels like one continuous event.
I hear you. I feel like I slept here.
I'm surprised you didn't. You're in the pirate ship. You need to go looking for the football. It may be in there somewhere from 16 years ago.
Like Glazers, can you give me a bunk bed in the pirate ship when I'm in town, please? I mean, come on. I lost the spleen. I should at least get a bunk bed in the pirate ship.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.